All right, guys. So I told you some time back, and I'm taking this vlogging thing quite seriously, and I'm starting a series where I'll be talking to a lot of artists to talk about their albums even before anybody gets to buy it online or in the shops. I also get a chance to exclusively listen to the album before you do. So hey, Ameyaw. Today we have the beautiful Becca, and I'm sure most of you by now would have noticed that there's a lot of buzz around her. She's on buses, depending on which location you're located in. She's on billboards all over, and of course, social media too. And it's all about a certain unveiling. So, Becca, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you, Ameyaw. How are you?
I'm good too.
Good.
You're buzzing, unveiling everywhere.
I'm trying.
So, why unveiling?
Well, I mean, the word defines itself. I think that for me, I've been in the industry for 10 years now, and I've done quite a few interesting things, I must say. At this point, I feel like it's time for me to show people the other side of Becca, something that they've never seen before, something, I would just put it this way, that Becca is almost like an upcoming artist. So we're unveiling the new Becca. So let's just keep it as the new Becca, the upcoming new artist.
Great, so let's go right into it. Track one, which is one of my favorites. I don't know if it's coming out very soon, but we'll get to that very soon as well. It's called Number One, and it features Mr. Eazi. So, I mean, how did this song come about?
I mean, this song is quite interesting. I think that it does really pay to wait because this particular song is actually the last song I recorded on the album. And funny enough, the title is Number One. And so we decided to place it at number one. And it's really interesting. I must tell you, it's great to vibe, just be in the studio, be vibing, because this song happened when I wasn't really expecting it to happen. We were just in the studio, vibing, you know, talking with each other, and the song just popped up. And the beautiful thing about songs like that is that because everybody's in their own element, and it comes from the heart, it just sounds great all the time. So Number One is actually a song that, for me, I think is also one of my favorite on the album, especially because of how it happened. It was just like, let's wake up, let's go to the studio, let's vibe, Eazi's there, or what's going to happen, oh, let's record something, and then boom, it happened. And so Number One is really my number one song on the album. I just love it.
And how did the collaboration happen? Because it's Eazi, like you said. The name might sound easy, but he's all over the world traveling. So how do you get such an artist to be in the studio with you?
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, I happened to have been in a place with him the day before. He had his concert at the Fela Shrine, and I happened to be there. Because, I mean, I'm a great fan of Mr. Eazi, just because of his Afrocentric, Afrobeat kind of genre of music. And so I just thought, let me go and support a brother. And so I was there, and through conversation, he said he's going to be in the studio. I said, oh, where? Location. Okay, oh, I'm also going to be around that area, so I'll just pass through, see what's going to happen. And we're just there, we're vibing. And I said, let's do something. He says, of course, let's try and do something. And I mean, the good thing is that Spinner was there. He gave us a beat from Killer Tunes, and we just started doing something, and it happened. And it's just like how You Lied to Me happens. And that is why I love the song. So this is like my You Lied to Me for my 10th anniversary.
Right. Easy, we go into number two, which is Don't Know, featuring Kofi Kinaata.
Yes.
Are you deliberately doing this from one great artist to the next?
Oh gosh, I love Kinaata. I will be with you, mommy. Oh, I just love that song so much. And I mean, he's a really young artist. When I mean young, not in terms of age, but in terms of when he started. And I saw him and I thought, you know, this is an inspiration. He's very original and authentic. He's very African, and when he speaks, you know, it's just proverbs. You know, he's very funny and he's got a lot of humor. And I've always liked his songs. I just thought, you know, listening to the song, I wanted somebody that could actually communicate exactly what I was trying to communicate. And I wanted somebody who was fun, somebody who had a lot of, the right word being, a lot of knowledge as well. And so I just thought, okay, let me just think about who. Then Kinaata just popped in my head, and I said, no, since I like him already, you know, I think I like his songs already. I like that he speaks in the local accent as well. Why don't I put him on the song? And I must tell you, I have no regrets. He made the song sound beautiful and really original. And I believe this is the song that is going to catch fire in Ghana the most.
And this was recorded where?
It was recorded here in Ghana.
Cool. So from Lagos, then we come. And of course, number three is something we're all familiar with. So we all know it's a hit, a mega hit, so we would probably not talk about it, but it is Nawash by Puerto Rican. I think quickly, what I'll ask you is, did you expect the sort of reaction, how well this song has done? Was that your expectation when you were going to the collaboration?
Wow, I mean, I thought this song would do okay, but I didn't think it would do as well as it's doing because, and the fear for me is that it's not as though I didn't believe it. I believe in every song that I do, but the fear for me was that everybody knows the kind of music Becca does. I mean, I'm very much into the genre of music that people feel is very adult, very mature. And so going into this, you know, combination of reggae, dance hall, and pop was a little frightening for me. I said, you know what, let me try something new. And so my fear was that are people going to accept it? But at a certain point when I said, you know what, yeah, just produce good music. People like to dance anyway. I went into the studio, I said, you know what, for me, production is very important. Even if the song is just one word, I want production to be great. So we went into the studio and this song popped up. And I must tell you, the response so far has been crazy for me. I think that is one of the songs that has really taken me international and out of Ghana. And so I must say that little fear there, which everybody should have, has actually really like made the song a great one.
And then easily we go into You and I think it's also still within your elements. You like to pour your soul into it and stuff like that. And that is out already, people know of it, and it's doing incredibly well across the continent. How does that make you feel?
I'm amazing.
For me, I call it the return to chart success. And it's been on #1s on Sound City and also been introduced on MTV Base. What was the process like? What made you write that song?
You know,
Is it a special somebody?
Well, yes, that's special someone. You know yourself. But I mean, really, I mean, you and I, like you said, it's just going back to Becca being easy and cool and just being in the element of R&B and, you know, I mean, this particular song is actually also one of my favorite. And it's because the kind of beats that I sang on was quite unusual, it was quite different. It was different in the sense that you could tell that the market was very international. When I say international, it wasn't even African, it was out of Africa international. And so for me, it was also a try. Like I'm just telling myself, okay, let's try myself on something, my hands on something very, very different and see how people are going to respond to it. But then when it came out, the response was really good. And it just goes to tell you that people now are enlightened and people listen to a wider range of music. And so as artists, we don't have to box ourselves anymore. That song came out from Lagos to Ghana. It was recorded by, funny enough, different artists. I think Gazi touched on it. Askana also in Lagos touched on it. Sami Gang finished it off and mastered it and everything. So I think that it has a touch of everybody in there, and the response so far with you and I don't know, I just must say that I'm really humbled by that particular song.
And the video starts off with you sort of acting a lot, and it's something we saw you do last year.
Last 2 years.
Last 2 years.
Yes.
Are you going into that role anytime soon?
I really love to act. I mean, I must tell you, I really like to act, but I just feel music is my first love. It's always been my first love, and it's forever going to be my first love. But I believe that, I mean, acting has always been the hidden talent that I think a lot of people didn't know about me. I've always liked to act. I was in drama schools. I was in drama class in all the schools that I went to, from Morning Star to Wesley Girls to London Croydon College to Gimpa. I mean, I always tried to do something in school, and it was to do with acting, more acting than music. I just might, do something again in acting. I just want a role that is worth doing. I don't want to just do anything. I chose that particular YN production movie because it was not the everyday movie. It was me not glamorous and have red lipstick on and doing the glamorous thing and just wearing nice clothes. It was just taking myself out of my comfort zone and going into an element where it's really going to showcase the acting skills in me. And so if anybody comes up with a role for me, it must be something that is worth doing. The script must be off the chain.
So track number 5, Crazy. I remember when I was listening to it with you, you mentioned quietly that it's one of your other favorites. I mean, for you, every song on here is a favorite. Tell us about Crazy too.
Crazy, 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 crazy. That's how I feel when you're not with me. I really like that song. I really do like that song. That song, amongst all the songs, my expectation for that song was maybe I won't say the least, but you know, you always have something you feel like, oh, this is gonna catch. But I realized that that song had magic. It has magic, because every time I listen to that song, it grows on me, and that is the power for me of music, or a song that is going to last for a long time. That's an evergreen song, and so for me, I think crazy. Well, crazy means crazy. I'm just talking about how someone is crazy in love and cannot live without the person, and I think certainly I cannot live without the song Crazy. So my number 5 song.
Well, that leads us to what the magic is for me on this album, with you featuring Stonebwoy.
Okay.
I mean, when we were listening to it, I told you that one hit me immediately, and I know I'm betting actually that once it's out, everybody is going to fall in love with it. How did this happen? Apart from you guys being label mates and all of that, how did this beautiful collaboration happen?
I think that Stonebwoy is an amazing talent himself. I mean, he's one of the artists that I think understands the showbiz side and the business side of music. Just to say before I go into the song, you know, I've always wanted to do a song with Stonebwoy. I think that for me, I saw him as someone that had a lot of potential, someone that I believed could actually take Ghana music and take it to the world at large, not just Africa, but to the world. And you know, then again, it's like through relationship. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk, which always happens. He actually said to me that, B, I mean, I think we should do a song together. I said, I've always wanted to do a song with you. Since you brought yourself there, let's do it. And I would bug him, because everybody knows me when it comes to my work. Like, I don't waste time. When you say we're doing a song today, I'll ask you if you're ready in the evening. You know, I organize things. So we just met. We met at home. We're having a conversation. I have a studio at home. He came over. Master Eazi produced that particular beat. We sat down. You know, he already has stuff in mind already. And he actually, funny enough, this is a song that he had laid down. So he pulled it out and said, B, we're trying another song, but I have this song that I feel like is the best. You know, I said, let me listen to it. He hadn't done very much on it, but as soon as I heard, I said, you know, this is the song. Let's do it. So we just like wrapped it up in maybe like this. It's a day. He came in maybe around 5 p.m. and at 4 a.m. the next morning we're still recording. We just wrapped everything up because we're all busy people. So that song, I think, with you, it is a good song, and I think you're actually right about that song.
And I mean, that makes dancehall reggae 2 features. So, is it something like I can say is your new love, because you've done one with what's his name, Patoranke, and now Stonebwoy. Are we seeing you do more of the genre? So that brings us to track 7. Track 7 is Ameyaw. Ameyaw, tell us about that one as well.
Well, that's already out as well. Yeah, it's just a really beautiful wedding song that I think everyone can relate to, especially if you're in love with somebody and it's a special occasion. So this one is basically a song that was dedicated to every single person out there who is in love, loves somebody. It was produced by Richie, our own Richie Links Entertainment, and written by Kwame Eugene, young artist who's a very good songwriter, I believe. And yeah, Ameyaw is for the lovers out there. It's for you then. Yeah.
And track 8 is something we're also familiar with as well. Becca with Visa. I mean, remember all the hype that I'll come to you on that at a different because I realized in his new song she says the title is Sister Girl, and then he drops a line where says that we'll say Ameyaw and so I'm sure in the subsequent weeks you'll be answering more questions on that. But number 9 is To Me, which is Pillow. When we were listening to it again, you said it's one of your favorite. I mean, anybody who listens to it will understand why it is. But tell us emotionally what you were going through that made you put together such a song.
There's a line that says, "Nothing put here, you don't have no need for me. Sumya ya shemya tentiru, but it's a wenya, orthopedic." All the guys that were going off orthopedic, this is for you. You know, keep your sumiyas at home very well. You know, it's just a very intelligent song written by Kofi. You know him already. He comes up with amazing songs. He will show the Diame. And for me, that song is, I mean, all the songs on the album I think are great, but that particular song, I Could Bet You, is the next African woman. It's that song that I know every year for the rest of my life we're going to play it. It's very intelligent, speaks about emotions that women go through, and it just tells a very good story. I mean, it's a very good, I feel like that whole song is actually a movie script. You know, it tells a story, and for me, it's the melody of the songs, the rhythm of the song, the approach, and the way that I sang the song. For me, put me in that state, and I could relate to it because I'm a woman, and I think we all go through broken hearts once in a while, and we feel like we're not being treated fairly. And so for that song, I think that if you ask me, I'll tell you that I put a lot of passion in that song. And if you hear the song, you could feel it. Like even now, I feel like singing the song from beginning to end and just expressing myself. But Sumia is a song that is very, you need to think.
So it was written and produced by Kofi.
Yes.
And then number 10, the big 1-0. I think most people would not expect it. Of course, it's Mo, and it's saying thank you. You could have done it in a simple way by saying thank you, but you took it a notch further and made it spiritual.
Yes.
And most people don't know you for this. Tell us about Mo as well.
Well, Mo is Mo, and Mo in my language is well done. And I'm just telling God that, I mean, this, you know, is supposed to be the shield for all the songs and the shield for all my 10 years. I think that God has brought me really far. I'm a very religious person, and so I just wanted to thank God. I think that He deserves to be really thanked. I just wanted to let Him know that He's watched me and protected me for 10 years, and I've been relevant for 10 years. And I keep saying that not a lot of people come in and stay that long. And they stay, some stay, but produce hit upon hit. It is just by His grace. So it's a song to say, thank you, God, for protecting me, for guiding me. And I think he deserves to be appreciated and thanked. So, yeah.
And your choice of featuring Joyce Blessing,
yes.
What?
Joyce, man, I mean, she's got so much talent. Her voice, I mean, if you read it even in the song, when I was singing, I was trying so much to tone my voice down because I've got a big voice and Joyce has a huge voice. And so I wanted us to complement each other really well. So I tried to tone my voice, my notes down so that she can stand out. And I think that we complemented each other so much. And she's like not the typical gospel girl. You know, she goes on stage with her jeans, her ripped jeans and her top, and she's got that swag. So nobody could have done the song better than Joyce. So I think she did justice to Mo.
Great. All around great album. I wish that a lot more songs could have squeezed themselves in there. I mean, sometimes during the creative process, artists have to cut out some songs. Is there any that you left out from this album and we should look forward to?
A lot. I cut a lot out, a lot of really good songs. The reason why I chose and stuck to the 10 is that it's 10 years, and I wanted every year, every song to mean 1 year and to be meaningful. And so I just thought, let me just make it 10. Because sometimes when you pack a lot of songs on one album, people are not able to enjoy it. Some are just thrown away. So these 10 songs, I believe that you can repeat, go over again and repeat. But I mean, I threw in bonuses for you. I did Steady with Ice Prince of Money is there as well. You know, and then we have Schedule Diamond, which we didn't talk about, that's there as well. So yeah, you've got at least a few bonuses. You know.
Great. So it's a collector's item, I would say. Tell them how they can get the album.
Well, they can get the album on iTunes now. It's on pre-order. You know, just go there, type Becca Unveiling, and then it will pop out, and you'll be able to pre-order it. But on the 18th of August, it is going to be out, and you have the opportunity to actually listen to all the songs. So yes, iTunes, go in there and buy the song Unveiling by Becca. 10 years.
Thanks, Becca. It's been a fun interaction, and all the best with Unveiling.
Thank you very much, Ameyaw. Bless you. Love you, Becca Hearts.
Great.